This is how we ride. This is how we do.
What did you hear when that whole deal went down? I mean, obviously you got more people probably than anyone nationally that had some people at least you knew that were at the track and stuff like that, you know.
I mean, honestly, like, I was at Florence, and God, I don't know.
I remember it.
I honestly think I'm almost 100% sure it was the first time I'd won at Florence, and as like a crazy story, like get back to Donnie Shots, right? So this Donnie Shots says to me several years ago, you know what is with them horrible fire suits you keep wearing? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, every one of these fire suits is dirty, ripped, clapped out. I'm like, well, you know, I said, well, I got them for free from this, you know, company Atomic, and I had some Leaf fire suits, and I said, I'm not paying $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 for a fire suit personally, and sweeteners, we're not going to put it in our budget. So he's like, you look horrible. And I'm like, well, look at you. We're at Volusia. I'm like, look at you. You got these neon white and green shoes on, dude. I said, you literally might as well just put a light over the top of you and say, hey, look at me. And he's like, well, you got to be like that. He says, there's nothing wrong with looking good. I said, I hear you, dude. So this guy says, he just literally out of blue calls Simpson and says, I'm going to buy you a suit. So he buys me a suit. He said, I want to put my car wash on the front of it, which was fast lane. And so so the first race in this suit, we won at Florence, the North-South. And, of course, that same night, I think I'm almost 100% positive is when all the stuff went down with Tony and all that. I don't really know everybody up there.
Did you see the initial video? Like, I remember when I was at a track, I was announcing at Devil's Bowl at that point, and I remember being in the pits when it came out on video, and it was just so insane to see.
The whole thing is
it was crazy.
It's a tough deal all the way around.
And then he didn't race the next day at Watkins Glen like it was national news, you know.
I'm going to tell you this. What do you want me to say? There's no right answer. Like, I have no right answer that I, one way or another, would say that would do anything. I mean, how the hell do I know?
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what happened with me.
I'm not trying to skirt any of this stuff here. I'm not trying to skirt this. I honestly have never driven a sprint car, so I don't even know about any of this. I do the little bit I might think about it. I don't really know that Tony Stewart and all them, I don't know how they know each other. I mean, maybe they do more than I do. I don't really know, like, any of this. So it's just such a horrible deal.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That shouldn't happen. On all accounts, should never happen.
When that did occur, and this is honestly a very big turning point in my life when this occurred, because I was working at the track, promoting, trying to help. I was sending in things, trying to get mainstream media attention in Dallas, Texas, a very mainstream big market, You got a track 20 minutes from downtown. I mean, it's a dream scenario, promote. I was doing everything you could. Yeah. Now, I never got I used to email results and all these stories to different ABCs, Foxes, and all these stations and all that. So they never responded, ever. When Kevin Ward Jr. died, they cared. Oh, there's a track? Oh, it's Devil's Bowl? Oh, it's this? What do y'all? Oh, there is a track. Oh, well, what do y'all do? Oh, hey, there's somebody who died. We want to talk about it. It's like you didn't give a damn that we even existed. And we were doing all we could. We were doing ads. We were doing TV. We were doing radio. We were doing billboards. Oh, and this is when my attitude, that's why I say it shifted me. And it made me really, really, really upset. Because I know that there's a bunch of NASCAR drivers who can't come to that track on a weekly basis. My weekly race car driver in a sprint car could probably whoop anyone's ass that wants to show up. A weekly racer. I mean, you see PA, you got some of the greatest race car drivers in the world at some of these weekly events. And this fucking mainstream world don't give a shit if they're alive or and winning, but they care about them when they're dead. They care about them if they die.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only time you give a fuck. But we got world-class society-based drivers. We got world-class drivers. There is no one else that could step into a dirt late model and do what you do, sir. I don't give a damn who you are. Lewis Hamilton can't do what you do. But no one knows you exist unless you get killed. Whereas they get protruded
Well, I
as
mean,
Grant. This is where my ideology comes from.
Who is to say?
I'm sorry, because that happened
Yeah.
to me. I experienced that shit, and it really pissed me off. And so I started digging, and that's where I got to where I am today.
It's tough, dude. Listen, you and I have gone back and forth for several years where we would hang out. It's what do you say? How do I know that I could drive a Formula One car as good as Lewis Hamilton?
It don't matter. He can't drive a dirt late model with just as much fucking horsepower and driving ability as a Formula One car. But you don't get no respect. I understand. Why don't you get world class respect? That's bullshit.
Well, that's just because that's bullshit. It's no different. It's I appreciate it, but that's how you grow up, right? You grow up in your race.
But is that not true?
I mean, I'd like to believe I could.
Okay, hold on. Do you think Lewis Hamilton can jump into a super late model today and whoop your ass? Right now, first try. First try, no hot laps.
I mean,
okay,
but there again, though, like
I'm saying, if I put Tim McCreadie versus Lewis Hamilton in a super late model, and I put that on mainstream, and people can bet on it, you're an underdog by a mile, because nobody even knows what the fuck you do.
Yeah.
Who is Tim McCreadie?
Yeah, 100%.
You're a 40,000 odd winner. That's bullshit.
This is how we do. Ride mud, slide